What is up, guys? We are live. Let me start by sharing the socials, by sharing the stream on the socials, and then let's go over a few things. Chartsmith. My trading mate is gone for now, but he'll be back soon. But that's okay. Let's actually start by going over a bit of the NASDAQ, see what's going on there, see if we can take any trades. Let me just start by removing everything, get a clear chart. Of course, I've already charted this, but what the frick is this? That's so weird. Okay. But if I do remove everything and just sketch in the facts, maybe I missed something that I previously didn't see. So I am curious if I did miss something and if I will come across something else right now. But must say price action today has been a little rough on the NASDAQ. I've not taken any trades yet today, but yeah, the price action isn't the best for trades either. So let's check it. So what we do have here is we are in the making of a bit of a compression where we created this high and we created this low. While we are building higher lows, a lot of liquidity on the bottom, we are now also creating that liquidity on the top. So you basically have a bit of this a flag. A lot of people call it a flag, but it's basically a compression of price, and liquidity is building up on both ends to then pick a side. But what has been going on right now? I can already hear the chartsmith walking in, joining the live stream. 100%.
Beautiful. Gonna eat some lunch in a minute, so
Lunch on 2. I have just ate lunch. If I eat lunch at 2 now, then not that hungry when I have to eat tonight.
I always eat really late in the night, so it doesn't matter for me.
In the night even?
Yeah, in the night, absolutely.
Yeah. Okay.
We took London low, I see. And Asia on the yes. Interesting.
And we are still holding this this N walk on the 4 hour, which is offering us support, and if we do hold this, we can come up, I do think. And if we do flip it bearish and we start going for this liquidity on the bottom, then we could see more retracements towards new lows all the way at 17.9. Let's check this local part. Of course, this is really really strong distribution. We took out the liquidity, we went on, broke structure towards the lows, made a lower high, and we made new lows from there. So that also means everything that is happening in between these 2 points, our expectation order flow is bearish. And what you do like to see a lot when expectation order flow is bearish is that you are building up that liquidity on the bottom. And that's exactly what we're doing, but it looks like we are trying to actually break that now. Tested an order block here and brought us to new lows. So if I look at it from this perspective, I do expect more downside, at least on NQ for today. And that is also because I have analyzed a lot of stocks, and the stocks do look locally a bit bearish. Okay, so I am expecting more downside locally. Oi oi, Soon Sam brother. Glad to have you here once again. How are you, my friend? Have you done anything interesting yesterday or today? Spotted any trades? Are you in any trades? Have you looked at certain charts that you found interesting? Oh, ho, ho. We don't swear on the streams. This is a family.
Child friendly.
It's family friendly, so. Same old. Same shit, different day, Soon Sam. I'm in nothing special either. Just not enjoying this price action on NQ. Took out Asia on ES. But that doesn't really mean upside straight away. I think I'm still more bearish than that. Wisconsin now? Who's cussing now? I'm not sure if that is a... No idea what that means, brother. Okay, let's actually...
Look at the stocks, they're also in a lot of resistance. And
yeah, I
nice POIs open that I was looking at. But
I put a lot of stocks in the Discord, and they are looking locally really bearish. So I am expecting downside today, to be honest. Bro, some stocks I need to actually put some more money in, because I'm actually interested in a few stocks today to short. Let me check which one is it.
Stocks are
like Microsoft is looking great. If we can reject from here, then it's the charts are all in the Discord, and if anyone's interested, I've put the link on the Discord. We are sharing our ideas, our thoughts, our possible plays for shit. And then Levi is also looking amazing, bruv. Literally amazing for a short.
Was gain this high or reject the high, come down again.
Yeah, never managed to gain the high time frame high. Deviated the high now. Flipped the end walk, and we broke structure when we touched the end walk towards the downside. So let's see if we can expect a lower high there. And then Levi, I'm actually really interested in this, man, because it looked.
I'm walking Microsoft yet. Wait, that's a good one.
It's what we're up against. We had this crazy wick on Levi. Well, we opened so high, but we straight away pushed down. And what we are seeing right now is really interesting, because it looks like to me, and it looks like to the market, that we do not have enough liquidity to grab this high, and that's why we've deviated this high, and we are now against our supply that caused us to break structure right here, which was supposed to bring us towards new high, but it failed. So sellers stepped in, and that's what we're against now. And we also broke. I mean, Levi doesn't have a lot of volume, but I do think I I want to place a short here. We are opening bearish.
Already broke structure as well.
Yeah, so I'm expecting just a pullback in this little part, and then
It would be really juicy if it takes out that last liquidity, then you took out your extreme liquidity as well.
yeah, it could be, but I am more interested in this.
Okay.
Great liquidity throw. It just depends how the market. Oh my god, all the volume there. Now this is.
Oh Jesus.
This is, yeah. What else is there to say? This is absolutely great. Let's actually check this better. 50-minute, nothing. It's against resistance. 10-minute, no structure. 5-minute, there is structure. Yeah, I am interested in this.
Yeah, good call. Good call.
I'm not gonna tell on stream, of course. I'm gonna put an order in here. But all I'm gonna say is
For soon, Sam.
there is an error tool in here, and I am interested in shorting Levi. Okay, let me actually open my. You know what's great actually about the YouTube stuff now, and like building that community. Like I trade on eToro for stocks, and people can actually follow you and copy trades basically there. That's something to look at for the future, for sure.
Absolutely.
It's really interesting.
I mean, we're always looking at stocks in the stream, so
Is the alt season
win-win.
yet? I'm not sure if there's gonna be an alt season again soon, Sam. I do think some alts are of course gonna pump, but that doesn't correlate to alt season straight away.
Have you looked at Tesla yet?
I'll have the chart ready in a minute.
Isn't looking that bad as well.
Nope.
Nice distribution going.
This is the part that caused you to break structure towards the upside, so this is definitely a long PY. The local time frame, you do have a lot of this juicy liquidity. You are trending down, so you want to draw your range from bottom to top. An all season. Well, I do think because of these market conditions lately, I don't think a lot of alts are going to make it. 99% of all alts that are there right now are going to bleed to death. I do think there's just going to be a selected few that are going to always perform pretty well. But it's not that time anymore that freaking every alt just gains the liquidity and just freaking rams towards all-time high. It's definitely not the case.
You have to turn down your mic a bit. It's almost blowing up.
Turn down?
Yeah, it's a bit too loud, man.
Okay. Okay. Test. I think this should be a lot better.
Yeah.
Fortunately, it didn't blow up. That would be a great story.
Blowing up my microphone because the stock market is dumping.
Sure, if you start to reject here on the supply on Tesla, then we can expect new lows, because what brought us up to new highs is this part right here, and we actually managed to wick it. So it's the same game. Is this enough liquidity to get a rotation towards new highs? Well, if supply takes over from here and we break local structure towards the upside, the answer is no, and we need more liquidity from the bottom. This would also align really well with the demand POI we have stepped out here, and we could see something, this distribution going over into accumulation. Be absolutely amazing. Stocks are looking really good tradable these days.
You also flip the M walk on Tesla as well, rejecting from it as
yeah. Yep. Tesla, this looks fine. Yep. I mean, even if Tesla is gonna go down from this supply, we can easily trade towards this supply here and then start going down. Because on a higher time frame, we do have to watch out here on Tesla. But all in all, this is a great spot to buy some Tesla if we get that confirmation in this demand here.
Oh.
Let's actually soon some said alt season. Let me check the Bitcoin dominance and stuff. Well, brother, Bitcoin dominance just rising, taking over, leading the market. A lot of cash flow coming into Bitcoin itself and not the alts.
I'm gonna eat real quick.
Yep. Yeah, let's check the current market conditions. Okay, it's gonna be important from now on what you are gonna see, what you are going to hear, because we are actually gonna check literally the current state of the market and the market conditions by checking USDT dominance, Bitcoin dominance, and all of that good stuff, to actually get a grasp on what is the sentiment of the market right now and what could it possibly do in the next coming days / weeks. Well, for Bitcoin dominance, I mean, Bitcoin dominance is just leading the way, right? This is such a huge block. It's too huge. That is interesting. Because basically this is the part that brought us towards new lows, and we did actually sweep that. Yeah, we swept that right here, so but we are going up so aggressively. I mean, as soon as you front ran a good point of interest like a demand and you have the liquidity hunt, the market is insanely strong. All right, let's actually give it an example here on XRP, and then let's check back, because look at here. Like, for example, on XRP, if you start front running your previous structure, you are insanely bullish. Okay, you are just the market just has to ram up, and that's also what we saw here. We were insanely bullish. We kept front running our structure, we kept front running our demand, and that just means pump, pump, pump. Well, what is there to say about the Bitcoin dominance? Well, we could still start to build something from here. Maybe start trending down because we are building a little liquidity here. Or we could deviate the high once again and start going down from there. Would also be great. That could suggest for alts in the longer term going up. But for now, yeah, it's up until proven otherwise on Bitcoin dominance. So Bitcoin is really the place to be if you look at it this way. Now let's check Ethereum Bitcoin. Absolutely trash. In the liquidity, I'm not even going to go over this because there's literally nothing to say about Ethereum Bitcoin. Okay, it's down until proven otherwise. There's no single sign of any strength here, so we'll have to wait on Ethereum Bitcoin. Now a really interesting chart, and that is USDT dominance. This means if the price is rising, the market is probably bearish because people are selling their crypto for USDT. If this price rises, people are holding more liquid cash and are ready to invest. Look at this. Oh man, this aligns so well with Bitcoin. Pretty much always USDT point dominance is basically the reverse chart of Bitcoin, you see? It's pretty funny. Seldress Sin, welcome to the stream, brother. How are you? Fartcoin. Let me check that out, okay? Let me check out Fartcoin and then let's continue our story on USDT dominance. Still have the chart all the way around. I've actually charted this a while back, but I've not looked at it ever again. Okay, but this is actually, from a first perspective, it's starting to look great. Okay, and let me explain why. Because I have a few things I have marked out here. Yeah, this is great. What is so great about this Fartcoin right now is, as you can see, the price was dropping, and you're kind of getting this rounding bottom, right? Which is great. But what's more interesting is the volume. While the price was going down, the volume was rising. So that means while the price was going down, the interest in this coin was increasing. Okay, that's good to know. And especially when you look at the 4-hour this, because what is happening here, you were grabbing liquidity on the bottom until you've grabbed enough to then search liquidity on the highs. And that's exactly what we did here. Unfortunately, I drew this in, but I didn't even check back at it because this was an absolutely great point of interest. Absolutely amazing. Yeah, this was definitely playable. Unfortunately. Let's continue with the analysis though. We tested something we had to test. This is basically a liquidity hunt on the higher time frame. You were luring in some buyers, then you stopped them out, and that caused the market to fill up the orders and actually start trading away to the direction they intended to. Then now is something important, that is this high, because I think, yeah, this is basically just the accumulation. When you look at the daily time frame and the 3-day as well, yeah, this is great. What brought us towards new lows? We had this low, this high, and this brought us to all-time lows. What happened here is we went up, we made a higher low, and we actually broke structure from there. A 3-day candle has opened and closed above our previous structure high. Our trend is now bullish, okay? That means expectational order flow will be to protect this low and start breaking this high. We are still in the expansion phase, so we'll go locally over that if it's still going to keep on pumping, or you can expect a little bit of struggle back and then the move up. But expectational order flow is looking great. You broke structure, a high time frame change of character, and we can now expect from our order flow a higher low towards a new high. That's great. Also, while the volume was rising, you're still increasing in volume. It is looking great. Yeah. So let's mark out some supplies, because of course this is another good liquidity part. We can reject on liquidity. We don't have to reject on supply. Okay, this is beautiful. This is really interesting what I'm about to tell you, and this is also what makes a supply a really good supply. And that is when you, this is where you're holding support, right? And you could still expect in this expectation order flow a higher low for a higher high. So what happened here is you tried to make that higher low for new highs, but what happened here, let's actually go one time frame lower. What happened here was beautiful. You trended up, you started trending up, and if you managed to hold this low, you could still expect new highs. But this is where the sellers stepped into the market, and this is actually untested. The buyers tried to push us towards new highs, but sellers stepped in and brought us all the way towards new lows, and that actually broke our high time frame expectation order flow. And because this part broke such a significant point, I do think we are gonna rest a little bit with where the price is at now, because this is just perfect, right? So our time frame, it looks great. This was the high you had to break. What part caused it to break? It's this part. So this would be your demand. This is where sellers tried to step in, make new lows, but no, buyers said no and caused us to break structure. Really important part. This would be your first point of interest on Fartcoin. Fartcoin, such insane names. Let's check out this local part. I want to know our highest time frame structure. 8 hour. Yeah. This also means if we manage to keep this 8 hour low, because this is what brought us all the way up to new highs. If we manage to keep this low, we could still expect more upside, even though we are in resistance right now. So we have to hold this, and on the higher time frame, even if you do go below this, it's no problem, because you have a great point of interest here, because the big swings is this. And like I said, if we manage to hold this low, could still expect upside. So we have all this space to look for possible higher lows towards new highs. Start removing these. But great resistance point of interest. You can straight away see when you tapped it, you started to break structure towards the downside, make a lower high, make a new low, and now it's actually trying to make a lower high. Let's check this. I think this looks pretty tradable to me. Definitely not a range. We just need to follow this structure wise. How did you locate the resistance? Well, as I've explained, this part was really beautiful. If you just follow market structure here, this is a low that brought you towards new highs. Okay? And what is the part that brought us towards those new highs? That is this structure pool. So for in order to stay bullish, you would have to hold this low, and then you can expect to break this high. We tried to hold this low and tried to break highs from here, but what happened in here is sellers stepped in and pushed the price towards new low, causing us to break structure towards the downside and switch our trends from a uptrend to a downtrend. And that's where this is coming from. It was untested. This is just a buy towards a sell move. It's always great resistance. And this is also the part that caused you to break a really important low, which is this low. That's why I found this a really beautiful resistance. You can also look at the 4 hour with this. You can clearly see the price tried to go up from here, but sellers stepped in and brought us to new lows, and this was never tested back. And that's why we are finding that resistance here now, because the sellers that have stepped in here, are they willing to defend the orders that they have brought in here to push the market down? And this is just a general point of interest to short from because of that. I hope that clarifies how did you locate the resistance question for you, Seldris. If you have any more questions, then definitely let me know. This is really interesting. I need to hurry up with my analysis because this looks really great for play. So let me just draw in a few things, okay? And then I'll go over the explanation of this whole consolidation in a bit. Because if there is a trade, I do not want to miss it. I just do not get how to know a general supplier from that. That has been your issue. Well, I can give you some advice for that. You just have to make up a few rules for your supply. And probably the most important part for a supply is that it has it had to do something. It had to break structure. It had to it just had to do something significant in the market. So if we manage to grab a bad supply, let's check it, okay? Okay. This is some wacky price action. I'm not really finding that bad of supplies here, because if we just take a few examples, we were trading up, trending up. We tried to go up from here, but we failed. Sellers stepped in here, and we made new lows from there. So this makes a good supply. Sellers stepped in and caused us to break structure. Right there. And that's when our bullish order flow is switched into a bearish order flow. And we can do the same here. Because this whole buy move towards the sell caused us to break this structure. So if you actually just take this part on the higher time frame, there's probably one block, and there we go. You're supply chaining. Another supply touched, and you are breaking structure. From here you make new lows. So what would also be a good supply, that would be this right here. This is your last buy move before a huge sell that caused us to break structure over here. So this would also be a good supply, but you can see you absolutely rammed through it, and that is just because of a liquidity perspective, okay? Because what you were doing here is you were really grabbing all of the liquidity below the lows, and until you have grabbed enough liquidity, you can search for the liquidity that you've just built. So that is just combining supply and demand with liquidity to make really powerful plays. But first place, I hope that clarifies a bit for you. And on stream, I cannot really do that much more for you. If you are interested in some more education, then I do have a free Discord that you can join. The link is in the description, and also in this live chat, of course. So if you are interested, then I would recommend you to join that, and you can ask more questions through that Discord. Let's keep following this picture here. Touch the supply, and you can see we are taking over from there. Again, this is a strong supply. Why? Because this supply caused us to break structure here. You broke structure internally. And that's where we respected the lower high, and we made all the way new lows from there. What is the part that caused us to break towards those new lows? It's this part right here. We were still in an uptrend. Let's actually zoom in a bit for that. We were still in an uptrend right here, and we tried to make new highs, but we failed. Sellers stepped in and caused us to break structure towards the downside. Was still untested. That's why we're finding their resistance right now. We did actually sweep a bit of liquidity. And because this was your supply that tried to bring you all the way towards new lows, that makes it also an interesting liquidity point, and that's why the market searched for it right here, and we actually created this range. So once again, I want to go over this. We have a range high, a range low, our deviation 1, and what happened from there. Normally I would say this is your extreme liquidity, but now I am saying we have grabbed enough liquidity to actually start really rotating down. And why is that? That is because price action has done something really interesting. Because if we draw it from this high, right here, we were trading down, and then we actually made pretty much equal highs right here. And from that equal high, we also managed to break structure towards the downside. So what happens then? A lot of sellers are wanting to short here with their stop losses above those highs, because we did break structure here. And that is the trap of the market makers, because you can also see a lot of people have been trying to freaking sell this, but the market maker actually pressed their buy button, and what happened then is we took it out. We took the liquidity out, and because we broke structure here, we lured in those sellers right here. And that's why this high is enough liquidity to actually start trading down. So we do have a distribution here. This is market makers shorting the market here. There we go. And what is the technical target? It's this low. But we also have a lot of liquidity here, and because we've never managed to break this high but just wick it, I am expecting price to just go towards 78 cents. So it's definitely not a buying moment for Fartcoin right now. You're in resistance, you've just had the great bump, don't follow the green candles, just patiently wait for price to create something for you, okay? Either create something down here in this demand, trending down, breaking structure. No, these two scenarios would be what I would be looking at Fartcoin. But overall, the high time frame looks amazing, bro. Great call, Seldris. Thanks a lot. Seldris, no problem. Thank you for being here and not being shy to ask a question, because if you do ask a question, that's when you get the most information, of course. Yeah, Fartcoin is great. I actually want to quickly add it here because it does look great. But once again, for a bit of downside, I am expecting a little bit of the same on Bitcoin.
What's up?
Yo, man. Chartsmith is back.
Let's go.
Bro, sometimes now in the few hours back, I ate 2 eggs. Of course, before that I had a big smoothie, but Now 2x, 3x, 4x. 4x is actually the maximum for me to eat. But I remember
Without bread or something?
No, with bread. 4x with bread.
Yeah, okay.
But I remember back in the days in the apartment, one day I ate 12 eggs in like half an hour. But
I remember those times.
oh, so crazy. Look at, really analyze this price section on Bitcoin. You do not want to step into longs here. You're in major resistance here, and what you are doing is you're building up liquidity. You're not gonna leave that behind if you are gonna pump up. At least you do not want to look for longs. You're in resistance and you are leaving that liquidity, and we're slowly grinding up. And if we're slowly grinding up, we're not showing any strength, right? So I am waiting for this deviation of the high, tap into our more fine-tuned demand supply there, and then actually maybe get a rotation down towards this low, and then we can go up from there, sure. But for now, I'm not that bullish on everything. This would also really align with Solana if Bitcoin takes out that high. Solana also great, would also be great with Ethereum for a short. It's all looking pretty great. What I don't like about Ethereum is we just managed to front run this 1 hour order block here. But what we did do is we took the liquidity and we broke structure. And if we do manage to go up here, test this, Bitcoin deviating that high and rejecting, then Ethereum would be a great short here as well towards these lows. And obviously, we actually front ran this part. That's your TP right there then. Yeah, front ran this. Great scenario to trade to, and then we could possibly see some upsides again. It would depend. But I was doing USDT dominance, so let's get back into that. We do have a lot of great charts sketched out for the market right now. Ton, I'm just not touching it. It's up. Nasty liquidity trill. We'll leave it at that. It's not interested for now to look at. Sue the same. I just want to look for longs down here, and I'm not touching this chart where it is right now. There's no point to do that. You want your trends to align with your higher time frame. That's how you can create the highest probability trades. Because that what we are trying to do as traders, right? You're trying to pick trades where you're seeing your edge and where you have an advantage over the market with the probability. And to do that, you need to align your high time frame with your low time frame. So right now Sue is in the middle of nowhere, but I would be interested in longing right here. Patience, not trading is also trading, remember that. This is my territory. Just grinding beautifully. It's actually such a great range. So insane. Did take out that low. It's not with conviction. I do want to mark out there's a reason to come lower. We are distributing from these highs. And this is once again just a beautiful part that market makers are seeking and destroying. And that is because when you made this high, you broke towards new lows. What happens when you go below lows? You drag in a lot of sellers into the market. And where are those sellers gonna be? Above the high. So that makes it interesting for the market to go there, and from there reverse price. And this actually confirmed distribution. But what we are doing since that distribution is we are leaving a lot of liquidity open. So the purpose of this distribution could just be to start accumulating. I don't like this deviation, but I do have to draw it in because it is below it. But I don't like it that much. This would mean you do not want to go below that low. And if you are, then you would kind of have to see this as a separate range. Where you have your low, your high, your first deviation, and then you can get your third. It's a range in a range. Keep that in mind. There's nothing really here to search for H-bar. Took out that low, then we started breaking structure. Distributed from here again without taking that high. That is interesting. Are going down really aggressively. It could be interesting if we tap this demand and we do see some reaction from there. But then again, zoom out as well. We are distributing, we are leaving liquidity on the highs, so we need liquidity from the lows. So it would be great for H-bar to just go below here, create some sort of manipulation here while having this range up here, and then you could have a potential PO3 where you tap into this demand. This is the structure that caused you to break towards new highs here, so it's a strong demand. Would be great to come back here, keep on creating that liquidity, and then you would also have a really high conviction play on H-bar, because we are trending up really strong. Beautiful. H-bar also beautiful. Quickly check these charts. Okay. Sure, it's fine. Let's check out Q real quick. Okay, rebalance price action. Well, by taking that low. Still down until proven otherwise. One hour in first. By the way, for everyone watching, the way I trade on crypto, it is a bit different than the way on NQ. The NASDAQ is a way more developed market. It's more liquid, so it works a little bit different than Bitcoin. Bitcoin is basically still in its child's shoes if you compare it to something like the NQ.
So getting into your 5-minute order block and then queue now.
I don't like where price is at on NQ. Still more bearish than bullish, even if we manage to gain this. But then once again, we swapped huge liquidity. We are doing a lot more volume down there. And there is reason to go higher, but you just have so much to go through. I would be interested in going higher if we manage to take our first liquidity point. Right there. Then we could see something. But I don't like where price is at. Time frame still bearish order flow. But then again, you're still holding this end walk. It's all and you can definitely see it on the market as well. It's not great great price action. Yeah, just waiting for a market open. I was checking USDT dominance before the legend sell risk came in. And what I was saying here is this actually really aligns with Bitcoin, because if you just reverse the chart, then this looks a lot like Bitcoin. And that is also because Bitcoin, of course, has the most dominance and it has the most cash flow overall. So that would align with the USDT dominance. And what I like about this is that we could be in a distribution where Bitcoin is in this accumulation, and we have this POI down here, which was front ran, and we have a USDT dominance, also a reason to go back up there. That would be freaking insane if we do come up there and start to reject from there's USDT dominance, and of course on Bitcoin bounce from there would be great. What I like about this, we have a huge gap here. We are just leaving a gap in the bottom of the range, so when we do come below that low, I am expecting a massive expansion. And once again, this would also align with our Bitcoin chart. If we do go above these highs, I am expecting that fast expansion up towards that 95k. But we first have to flip our resistances. And this would still be a great POI, for sure. So all in all, it's not looking that bad for the market, guys.
Look who we have there.
Esprot, yo, how's it going? Brother, welcome to the stream, man. Good to have you here once again. How are you doing, brother? If you have taken any trades lately? Do you have any charts you want me to look at that you are interested in? And if we do not talk, let's talk about a little bit of Forex, because man, of course, with the economy and stuff and what Trump happened, you can clearly see that on the freaking charts. Okay, Euro USD, Euro's getting strong. Fartcoin rallied crazy from the previous time we discussed. Yeah, you were the one actually asking about Fartcoin. I just had someone earlier in the stream that talks about that again. And if we do take a look at Fartcoin, I had this point of interest pointed out, right, and it was still looking pretty great for Fartcoin. While we got a massive move from it, freaking 150%. I hope you did something with it, because I did not. I have never added it to my watch list, didn't look back at it, nothing. Get us 90% off Apex, bro. I cannot just get you 90% off Apex. Okay, unless of course I have way more influence than I do now, but that's not the case. So for an order for 90% off on Apex, what would have to happen is Apex would have to come on with a great deal, like a deal with Easter. TradingView is having a deal now as well because it's Easter. Then you can expect those, those Christmas, those Easters, those holidays, New Year's. That's when you can expect those 90%, bro. But 90% Apex doesn't give away 90% that easily. But yeah, Asprod, crazy man. Fartcon went crazy. It was playable as well, but like I said, I removed it from my list, never added it. And well, it worked out perfectly. And if you do want to check out the analysis I put out on Fartcoin right now, then you have to rewind the stream a little bit, okay? I went over everything what has happened here. Took a few intraday scalps on it because overall Bitcoin has been super manipulative these past couple of days. Staying aware of that. Yeah, but I do like what Bitcoin is doing. I mean, what we were just doing is filling up orders and trapping long people. People that have been longing here, taking over their positions to then push price up. And yes, this is not the cleanest price action, but I do like it. We are building liquidity on the highs. We are taking liquidity on the lows until there's enough taken on the lows to then go towards all the liquidity that we have just built on the highs. Bitcoin's actually looking great. It hasn't looked this great since 4 months. Yeah, I'm a bit more bearish right now on Bitcoin though, because we are in this resistance point. If we do come above this liquidity, I am expecting just expansion towards 95k, but we're not there yet. We are building up liquidity on the lower time frame here, grinding up slowly. So I do think a correction will be coming, and I would be looking at shorts here on Bitcoin, and this would also align with the short on Solana right here. And this would also align with a short on Ethereum. Let's actually check if this aligns with the yeah, we are finding a bit of support on the USTD. If this goes up, the market goes down. It has a reason to come up here, test it, and then go back. It's all aligning pretty well. But coming back to my story on Forex, you can clearly see with the shit that is happening in America, the dollar is just decreasing a lot. If we open Dixie, the dollar index, then well, we are pretty much in the middle of nowhere, right? Where we had this huge range, where we had a manipulation above the range, and then we actually had the expansion towards the downside now. And most of the time, you can expect some follow through when one of these PO3 happens. And when we start zooming out, remove this, there is still a lot of space to come down to. I would be looking at something like this. This is our last sell move before we actually turned bullish. So we could still have on the Dixie still 5% on the dollar index. That's a ton. It's a lot. And you can clearly see the euro is stronger as well. We have this huge accumulation, manipulation move below, expansion on the higher time frame, and you also have the same part locally here. So I am expecting euro to still go up for 10%. And this would also align with, yeah, a few stocks. NQ. I mean, we're not there yet. We had a crazy relief bounce, of course. but we're definitely not there yet. As long as we cannot gain this buy towards huge sell move, then we are just gonna go and make new lows. And that would also, everything's aligning these days. That would also align with my higher time frame long perspective and point of interest, which would be this box. So we're not there yet, guys. If anyone in the stream has a question about the chart or something I analyzed and you do have a different perspective of it, then definitely tell me. Let me then let's spar about it. Because I'm running a bit of out of information here. I've been going over a lot of charts really fast, but then again also really detailed. I'm
Bruv, this is $1,000 information.
that is true.
Years of experience in only an hour for free. It's crazy. If you don't know how to trade, you only need this stream and you can learn a fucking lot. Yeah.
That's true. But then again, I know for a lot of new people trading, it's the hardest thing for everyone is seeing it. And when someone draws it in, everyone always tells, yeah, I agree, you're right. But no one, when they're behind the chart, they don't see it. And that's where really that experience come in. Because man, I've lately zero trouble in analyzing literally everything. I can analyze everything these days. Maybe a year ago I would have some trouble with certain things, certain points I wouldn't know, but now, nah, man, it's too many hours into the market for not knowing what is what the scenarios are.
If you have been charting / trading for 3 years, that's really the turning point.
Yeah, for real.
Because I'm still on that point. Yes, when someone else draws something in, I understand everything. But when I look at the market, I don't always see it, or it takes me a bit longer than someone with 1 or 2 years more experience. It's
of course
logical, of course, but
if anyone has a chart request, come on, pump it into the chat. Because I'm really let's actually do some things before of course I'm gonna end the stream before New York opens, then then the chartsmith is gonna stream, but let's actually do something here. Yeah, fartcoin is also really freaking trending. That's when you know you need to watch out when it's trending. I've done the analysis on it, so
it's crazy that the
anime coin. Okay.
project like that still is alive.
A great community behind it. Meme coins exist of community, and if the community is great, then and bro, it is freaking alive. Technical wise, it's looking great. I should make a video about it. I really should. Yeah. Let's just check the top trending. Because why not? I don't like these charts, man. Even though it is trending now and it has pumped a lot the last 24 hours or some, I can really do this in a nutshell. Because what happened here is we made a high and that brought us all the way to new lows, and we did not break the low we had to hold, but we did sweep it. So if we cannot open and close a candle on the 3-day time frame, we are gonna go lower. And that's all there to say about this one. And if we do want to respect this uptrend, yeah, you do not wanna go below this whole up move. That would be stupid. Then this would be your point of interest. But for now, no longing to do here. You're in heavy resistance, you took out the high. That's also when you can see this trend liquidity. You have a pop up taking enough liquidity on the other side. And that's when you are going for the liquidity that we have just built. I go over this so many times. It's so crazy. Let's check the second one. But this doesn't actually have a lot of listings. Nope. Take the general one. It's one of those old freaking dino coins again. With those weird pumps up, and this chart just looks like shit, so I'm not even gonna touch it. But real quick, this is the part that caused you to break structure right here. So if you do want to look for upside, this would be your place to do so. You do not want to chase these candles, okay? Because the way it comes up that fast, it can always comes down as fast. Okay, so if there's no one in the stream, that's okay. This is pretty annoying that it's doing this on stream. But I'm gonna end the stream here as well. If no one has a chart request, it was an amazing stream. Kept it short, but went over a lot of things. Don't see anyone in chat. Art Brothers. Then I will see you all in the next stream.
Laters.
Thank you all for watching. Cage is out.
Ciao.